What's up, YouTube? Right along with us as we continue our adventure in Alaska. On this episode, we explore a glacier, go across the Denali Highway, and then we cross Hatcher Pass.
We don't need a destination, let's go where the river's taking us.
We started off heading north on the Richardson Highway today with the Wrangell Mountains to our east. Our first order today was to find some water. Now, you would think that water is pretty easily found up here in Alaska, but it's actually not. Even at the campgrounds we stayed at, if you didn't rent a water site, you weren't able to get water from there. We were lucky enough to find this hand pump well on a BLM campsite along the Richardson Highway. After filling our jugs with water, we continued on north along the Richardson Highway. The next stop was going to be a very special one. After nearly a full day of driving on the blacktop, it was time to get on the dirt. Now, what we found so far with our time in Alaska is all roads either connect to population centers or they go out and back to a destination. And this one goes out to a destination that we definitely wanted to check out. At the head of Miller Creek, we found the Canwell Glacier, and it was one of the most majestic places that we had ever been. After spending some time exploring this beautiful place, it was time to make our way back down off the mountain and try to start finding camp. This glacier extends for over 13 miles. You can still see the ice underneath all of the dirt and debris here. The glacier, as it starts to melt, the water seeps down through the rock and debris that was pushed down through the valley, and the rock and debris is actually left on top. That's why it looks like there's no ice underneath it, except in places you can see those small cracks. They say you never know what you're going to find in Alaska, and we actually found this helicopter just sitting in the middle of nowhere. But the A-Star wasn't the only thing that was flying around today. We found a bunch of eagles at a fish hatchery enjoying their evening dinner. By early evening, we found a place to set up a cold camp along the Denali Highway. We'd managed to escape a lot of the weather today, and it was fairly dry, but that wasn't going to last long because the wind was picking up and the rain was sure to come. After hot dogs on the fire, everybody just kind of stood around and waited out the wind and the rain. Soon it got dark, and we decided to go on to bed. That night was the coldest night that we had had so far. The morning wasn't any warmer, and it wasn't a whole lot drier. Everything was still very wet from the night before. We decided not to fix breakfast here, to make our way on out to Denali, and the first place we could find, we were going to stop and get some breakfast. Just past the Tangle River, we found the Tangle Lakes Lodge, and it was open for breakfast.
See gas anywhere?
What is the doorbell here? Banjos?
Might be. You ready for some cocktails?
I'm ready for anything at this point.
That's night last night for that?
Well, we didn't have any cocktails. We did have a very good breakfast, complete with bacon and reindeer sausage. After a delicious breakfast and hot coffee, it was time to get back into the cold and damp parts of the Denali Highway. I know you're probably thinking, well, all they did was eat while they were up there. We did a lot of it, but how do you pass up cinnamon rolls like this? We figured out how to pass them up. We got full on this huge burger and bowls of soup. We had another incredible meal here, but right after that, we headed to the Denali National Park. We can't show you that, though, because of federal regulations.
So this was a place that the guy built, and it was supposed to be a motel. Then he ran out of money.
The good news is somebody supposedly bought this property, and it's actually supposed to be built next year.
See where my phone's at right there? That angle? Like towards that tree? It would be just about right directly behind that tree right there.
We continued our way south along the George Parks Highway, hoping to catch a glimpse of Mount Denali, but the clouds were definitely covering it up. As the sun started to pop out finally, we turned west, making our way towards Petersville. According to the 2020 census, Petersville has a population of 27 people. Nowadays, this road is known as the other road to Denali. It was originally built in the 20s for mining. I think we've graduated from moose country to bear country now. We had gotten up early this morning and put a lot of miles on for the day. We got to the head of Cache Creek and decided to turn around and go back to a little campsite that we had found beside Peters Creek and set up camp for the night. It had been a long day and we were all ready to just park the vehicles. As we turned around and were looking at the map, we realized through this pass we could possibly see Mount Denali. The only problem was there was a lot of clouds. We were hoping by the next morning things would clear up to where we could see her. It was going to be another chilly evening, so we got a fire put together pretty quick while Justin and Shannon fixed dinner.
We're on day 6 here in Alaska, and we have rain jackets that smell like mold. And we have pants that smell like smoke, boots in here that are nasty smelling. So we are going to try out the O3 Outdoor. It is in their bag that you can get from them, and it's a nice bag. It has zippers everywhere, pockets everywhere. We actually use these on as our luggage that we had checked. So we're going to go ahead and clean this out. We've already used this in the car with some other items. So I'm just going to hold this down, turn it on, and push the button until I get to 30 minutes. I'm going to place it in the bag here and zip it in. And when it comes out, it kind of has a little bit of like a pool chlorine smell. And that goes away, and everything has no scent whatsoever. No smoke, no sweaty stuff, no mildewy smell. So we're going to leave that in there 30 minutes and get that all freshened up.
Looky there. The chef Ragu himself.
Oh yeah. I had Julia.
Don't be a little of that extra sauce over there.
I had Julia Child over here helping me out. But
Gosh, that's a lot.
I think
But we're
you can
going
do
to
it.
try.
I think you can do it.
We're going to try.
10?
230.
Wow, they raised it.
No, that's in flight suit.
Oh, maybe someone else gave up 2 pounds more. Maybe call one of your buddies at work.
You can barely see it now.
Yeah.
When Justin got up the next morning, he was able to see the top of Mount Denali. By the time we got up, we weren't able to see it because of the clouds. But what we did get to see is this bear eating some blueberries on the side of the mountain across from our camp.
You guys want to come down there? Here, like, is there another one?
Is there another one there?
No, I
Oh.
you're over here. You stood up?
Well, she's way up there.
Yeah.
Can you see him go? You there?
A little better. We couldn't see very well from where we were, so I decided to fly the drone up to get a little better vantage point of him. We stayed well away from him and made sure not to disturb him. Meanwhile, back at camp, it was fresh blueberry pancakes.
The same way with my toast. I don't like my toast like real fresh picked, huh?
So we're truly embracing Alaska. Not only do I have my Elmer Fudd hat on, we've got blueberry pancakes where Skinny went and got the blueberries right out of the woods.
Fresh picked.
Right there they are, fresh picked. And we're gonna go with the Alaska birch syrup. Us and the bear were not the only ones having breakfast. This little critter here also had found him something to eat. After a great breakfast, we decided to get back on the road, and our next stop was going to be Talkeetna. As we started up the road to Talkeetna, we were treated to a great surprise. We were able to see the top of Mount Denali between the clouds. Now, this was a real treat because only 30% of visitors to Alaska get to see the peak. We made it to Talkeetna just in time to see the Alaska Railway starting to make its departure to the north. Talkeetna is a very unique town with a lot of history, food, and shops. We'd had all kinds of local cuisine throughout Alaska, but we hadn't had any pizza since the moose's tooth, so it was time for another slice.
The birch stuff was really neat, wasn't it? Handcrafted leather backpacks were really pretty.
After lunch, we did some more exploring into the history of Talkeetna and some of the museums around, and we even checked out one of the replicas of Mount Denali. Talkeetna was a really cool town to visit, but it was time to find another cool place. Next on our list was Hatcher Pass and the Independence Mine. The closer we made it to Hatcher Pass, the more overcast it got and started raining, and then by the time we got to the top, it was snowing.
This is where we do the polar bear plunge. Who goes first? Any takers?
At an elevation of almost 3,900 feet, Hatcher Pass is only open a few months out of the year.
We are in the snow, hiking in Alaska.
It's only 10 degrees colder than it was when we started today.
After a short and chilly hike, we made our way down the south side of the pass towards the Independence Mine. Gold was found in this area as early as 1897, but the gold mining actually had its heyday in this area in the Independence Mine in the early 1930s and 1940s. This mine ended up being the second largest hard rock gold mine in the state of Alaska. There was at one time up to 16 structures on the side of this mountain, and they were all connected by tunnels that were built by wood so that people could move throughout the buildings during the winter. The company ended operations in 1950 with expectations of the mill being started back up, but it never happened. In 1974, it was listed on the National Register of Historic Places and is now the Independence Mine State Historic Park. Mine closed in 51.
It wasn't really an active mine for very long, was it?
As we walk through, you could truly get a taste of what it may have been like to live and work here back almost 100 years ago. And now, this is one of the most complete ghost towns or displays that we have seen.
Oh, look at the one right at the top. See that one right there? Where the snow.
We took several steps back in time today, and we decided to actually retrace part of our steps. We went back across Hatcher Pass to a campsite that we had seen on the way in, and it was right beside the creek. It couldn't be more perfect for tonight. The biggest treat was as we made our way back across Hatcher Pass, the sun was starting to peek out so we could see the tops of the mountains through the pass. We found a great little campsite right along Willow Creek.
I should have got it when you threw it on the ground. That's when I should have got it.
The menu for dinner for tonight was pretty simple, either chili or Denny Moore stew with grilled cheese sandwiches. What an awesome day of looking back at the history of the early Alaskan pioneers and the gold miners. We ended the day and started getting ready for bed. We were looking forward to tomorrow, and you'll want to stay with us for the next episode when we go meet an amazing dog sledding team and head towards the Kenai Peninsula. Thanks again for watching. And remember, if you want to see our tracks and our waypoints of where we've camped, you can sign on to our Patreon and it's all there. Until next time, see ya.